Forget everything you've been told about needing supplements to boost testosterone. I'm here to give you the most powerful, natural testosterone boosting methods that require zero powders, pills, or injections, and they work at any age. I guarantee you can double your energy, strength, and drive using only natural methods. I know this because I've personally optimized my testosterone levels using these exact strategies and have helped dozens of men do the same. My name is Matthew Peloso. I'm a certified personal trainer, lifelong athlete, and natural men's hormone coach. I've personally gotten my testosterone levels in the top 1% of all men across all age categories. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you the top 5 strategies that I used personally to get to those levels and to maintain those levels. It's not gonna require you to go out and purchase any supplements or spend a bunch of money. These are all natural methods you can use anywhere in the world with little money invested. I'm also gonna give you a tip at the end of this video that you can use right now to jack up your testosterone levels. Let's get into it. Here's why the majority of conventional testosterone approaches fail. They focus on using supplementation or synthetic injections rather than finding the root cause as to why your body isn't naturally producing high amounts of testosterone on its own. Let me explain. Testosterone is built from cholesterol through a complex metabolic pathway that requires certain nutrients, sleep, training, and even avoidance of certain chemicals. When you introduce synthetic hormones such as TRT, your body suppresses its natural production of testosterone. Supplements may help slightly, but they don't focus on the root cause, can be very expensive, and they won't have as big as an impact as if you implement the 5 strategies that I'm gonna give you in this video. My approach works by eliminating everything that is disrupting your body's natural testosterone production and implementing every resource and tool that we can use to boost your body's natural production. Strategy number 1 is going to be detoxification. And when it comes to hormone optimization and detoxification, I could talk for hours about everything that is suppressing your natural testosterone production. So I'm just gonna give you the top 3 chemicals to avoid, top 3 things to avoid that are wreaking havoc on your testosterone and that will have the highest return on investment, meaning you're probably exposed to these, and if you can reduce them, they're going to do wonders for your natural testosterone production. Number 1 is plastic. Plastic is everywhere. The average person consumes about a credit card's worth of plastic every single year. It's going to be virtually impossible to completely avoid or eliminate. However, if you start to focus on the types of materials that you're drinking out of, are you drinking out of plastic water bottles? Are you wrapping your food in plastic? Are you eating out of plastic containers? Are you heating those up? That's where a lot of the chemicals are gonna leach out. The problem with plastic is they contain chemicals known as xenoestrogens. Xenoestrogens, in short, mimic estrogen in the body, which is the female sex hormone. So if you have high estrogen, you're gonna have lower testosterone. You're gonna be struggling to shred body fat. You're actually gonna be retaining a lot of body fat because estrogen leads to increased body fat in males, which in turn is just gonna have this positive feedback cycle. It's gonna be harder to lose weight, harder to put on muscle. Your drive, your confidence, your ambition is gonna go downhill. So avoid plastic at all costs. Opt for a more natural material like wood, glass, or even stainless steel, and start to consider what you're wearing on your body. Change out your bed sheets to a more natural material like cotton, wool, linen, and this is gonna be an incredible start and have a high return on investment for eliminating the toxins in your body that are suppressing your testosterone. The second toxin that we need to avoid is going to be pesticides from our food. If you can avoid all processed food, anything that's genetically modified, anything that's in the middle section of the grocery aisle that has an ingredient list longer than the longest essay that you've ever written, avoid that at all costs. Switch for a more whole foods based diet. So go to fruit, meat, butter, cheese, make things yourself. Even if it's pasta, pasta should have one ingredient, it should have wheat. So find whole food sources and eat as clean as possible to avoid pesticides, glyphosate, genetically modified organisms, which are going to wreak havoc on your body's natural testosterone production. The third thing to avoid right now that is destroying your testosterone is artificial fragrance. If you have air fresheners plugged in throughout your home, in your car, you got one of those things hanging, you're spraying stuff. If your laundry detergent has a bunch of synthetic fragrances, if you're spraying yourself with a bunch of colognes, Axe body spray, all that stuff is wreaking havoc on your testosterone. This is one of the most important ones that really goes under the radar. People don't see this, and it is absolutely nuking your natural hormone production. So eliminate these fragrances, try to get fresh air, try to hang your clothes outside, be as natural as possible. I'm not saying not to use soap. You can find more natural soaps. You can use essential oils. There are ways to smell nice. There are ways to be clean without bombarding your home and your body with all these synthetic fragrances and chemicals. Strategy number 2 is gonna be improving sleep quality. Sleep is something we all know is good for us, but few of us are getting enough of it. More than half of Americans are getting less than 5 hours of sleep per night. And sleep duration and quality is directly linked to testosterone levels. I'm gonna give you the top strategies I use to sleep like a baby. Number 1, sleep consistency. I go to bed and I wake up at the same time every day. I know it's not always realistic. I'm always traveling. I'm always doing things. There's business, whatever it may be, but make it as consistent as possible. I always try to go to bed and wake up at the same time, which plays into the second tip that I was gonna gonna give you, which is getting morning sunlight. I try to tie my sleep-wake cycle with the natural circadian rhythm of the earth. We are not nocturnal creatures. We're meant to be awake during the daytime and asleep at nighttime. So if possible, get morning sunlight first thing, wake up when the sun comes up, get that light exposure that's gonna signal to your brain the information it needs to know that it is daytime, to wake up and to stay awake. It's actually really gonna help your sleep. So what you do first thing when you wake up has a massive impact on what happens when you hit the sack later in the day. The next tool that I use is I sleep in a dark room, as dark as possible, which plays into that light exposure, and also in a cold room. So if you can make the room temperature as cold as possible, you can make it very dark. Those 3 strategies that I just gave you right there are going to do wonders for your sleep. Strategy number 3 is gonna be implementing targeted training. Squat, bench, deadlift, sprints, box jumps, any explosive compound movement that targets multiple muscle groups, that is functional and that you can do consistently without getting injured over time. I recommend 2 to 4 times per week, working rest days in there. So I like to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday split. I do full body 3 times per week. Really focus on the intensity. Working multiple muscle groups is going to jack up your testosterone in the short term and in the long term as you build muscle mass. And I believe this is the most efficient way for a natural athlete or anyone that's natural to build and pack on and retain muscle mass. Strategy number 4 is gonna be a clean whole food diet. This seems like common sense, but again, this is one where 99% of the population is lacking in. If you can go back, where are you from? Where are your ancestors from? What types of foods were they eating? And eat as clean and as natural as possible. Go back to those simple foods: fruit, honey, beef. Make sure that it's pasture raised, organic if possible. Go back to the simple meats, the good fats, something that everyone is eliminating from their diet. We've been taught, the FDA is in their food pyramid is saying that fats are making you fat, which couldn't be further from the truth. Cholesterol and fats are the building block for your hormones. Protein, carbs, fats, these are all necessary for high performance, high natural testosterone levels. So going back, unless you're on some specific diet that's very specific for a very specific reason, maybe you're training for a cut or something, eating a well-balanced, whole food, natural diet that is clean is going to have the most optimal benefit for your testosterone levels. Strategy number 5 is gonna be sunlight, light exposure in general. Artificial blue light is wreaking havoc on your testosterone. Looking at screens at nighttime, being inside, fluorescent lighting all day. Even at the gym, it's fluorescent lighting, artificial. That's not good for you. Being outside is gonna be the best if possible. Open up your windows, and getting an hour of sunlight per day has shown to increase testosterone levels 69%. So go and get vitamin D, go and get sunlight. It's gonna help you build muscle, retain muscle. You're gonna feel way better. Your mood's gonna be elevated, and it's gonna increase your natural testosterone production. If you found value in this information, hit the like button so other men can discover this valuable information. We have only scratched the surface on natural testosterone optimization. I could have talked for hours on what specific toxins to avoid, what to replace them with, what foods to incorporate, how to detoxify microplastics, how to get better sleep. It goes on and on. So if you want to know more, if you want to go more in depth, I have a community. There's a free course. The link is in the description, where I go more in depth on these ancestral ways to raise vitality, raise testosterone levels. I also work with men one-on-one. If you need help specifically implementing these strategies into your routine tailored to you, I would recommend going through my training that is free first, getting as much information as you need, and if you still need help, you can reach out to me through there. I'll see you in there. It is time to go to war. One last tip that I'm gonna give you that you can implement right now that's really gonna jack up your testosterone. You're gonna feel this immediately. I want you to stack cold exposure, so like cold plunge, cold shower, quick 2 to 3 minutes with fasting. Do this tomorrow morning, or if you're fasting, you haven't eaten in a while, right now, you can get in a cold shower, get in an ice bath, fasted with high mineral content, so drink some water with some sea salt, it's a small amount, sunlight as well, if it's possible. If you can get outside, if you can stack all these together, fasting, light exposure, cold therapy, it is gonna have a profound effect, even scientifically showed to really jack up in multiple hundreds of percent your testosterone. In the short term, you don't wanna do this every day as it can raise cortisol levels, but if you're feeling a little down, try this right now, comment below how you feel, and then start to stack those more consistent long-term strategies that we talked about in this video. I'll see you in the community. It's time to go to war. Let's fight back.